Imagine you're trying to keep your prize-winning garden safe from, well, everything. Pigeons, pesky drones, maybe even a low-flying jumbo jet. You'd want a security system that can see far, react fast, and handle all sorts of intruders. Well, in the world of nations, that's sort of what the S-400 Triumph is. It's a Russian-made air defense system, and for years, it's been talked about with a mixture of awe and fear. It's the successor to older Soviet systems, designed not just to be good, but to be the best, a kind of ultimate bouncer for a country's airspace. It's a big, complicated, and very, very serious bit of kit. The whole point of the S-400 is to create a massive, invisible bubble of protection around a place. This isn't just about shooting down planes that are right on top of you. No, this system is designed to reach out and touch something from hundreds of kilometers away. It's meant to be a game changer, something that makes an enemy pilot think twice, or maybe 3 times before even getting close. Russia has touted it as the pinnacle of air defense technology, a shield that can stop anything from a stealth fighter to a cruise missile. And for a long time, the world mostly took their word for it, because on paper, it looked absolutely unbeatable. This system didn't just pop up overnight, of course. It comes from a long line of Russian air defense systems, each one getting cleverer and more capable than the last. Think of it like the evolution of a supercar. It starts with a powerful idea and gets refined over decades, with more technology, better performance, and a scarier reputation. The S-400 is the latest model off that production line, first introduced in the mid-2000s. Its importance grew because it promised to level the playing field, giving countries a way to challenge air forces that were considered untouchable, like those of the United States. The promise of the S-400 was so great that it became a massive geopolitical tool for Russia. Selling it to other countries wasn't just about making money, it was about building alliances and projecting power. When countries like India, Turkey, and China decided to buy it, it caused a huge stir. The Americans were particularly unhappy, especially when NATO member Turkey bought it, because it raised questions about security and loyalty. This system wasn't just a weapon, it was a statement. Buying the S-400 was like telling the world you were serious about defending your own patch, whatever the consequences might be. So, how does this thing actually work? Well, it's not just one truck with a big rocket on the back. A full S-400 battery is a whole team of specialized vehicles working together. The most important parts are the radars. You have the big, long-range surveillance radar, the 91N6E, if you want to be technical, which is like the lookout in a crow's nest. Its job is to scan the horizon for hundreds of kilometers, spotting potential threats long before they become a problem. It's the eyes of the system, and without it, the S-400 is completely blind. It's a massive piece of equipment, usually mounted on its own truck, and it's the key to the system's famous long-range vision. Once the big radar spots something, it passes the information to the command vehicle, which is the brain of the operation. This is where humans make the decisions. If they decide a target is hostile, they hand it over to another set of radars, the 92N2E fire control radars. These are more focused, like a sniper's scope. Their job is to lock onto the specific target and guide a missile towards it. An S-400 battery has several of these, which means it can, in theory, track and engage multiple targets at the same time. This ability to handle a swarm of enemies is one of its main selling points. Then of course you have the missiles themselves, and the S-400 has a whole golf bag of them for different situations. For targets really far away, up to 400 kilometers, it has the mighty 40N6 missile. That's like hitting a target in another city. It's an astonishing distance. For closer targets, it can use smaller, faster missiles. This creates what experts call a layered defense. It has a solution for things far away, in the middle, and relatively close. It can supposedly hit anything from lumbering bomber aircraft and nimble fighter jets to fast-moving ballistic missiles and low-flying cruise missiles. It's this versatility that makes it so special. All of these components, the command post, the big surveillance radar, the smaller engagement radars, and the launchers, are mounted on big, 8-wheeled trucks. This means the whole system is mobile. You can pack it up, drive it to a new location, and set it up again. This mobility is supposed to make it harder for an enemy to find and destroy. In theory, you can keep moving it around, creating a constantly shifting defensive shield that's difficult to predict. It's a complex, powerful, and very clever arrangement of some seriously advanced military hardware. Now for the big question. For all its impressive specs and fearsome reputation, how does the S-400 perform when the shooting starts? Well, the results have been, to put it mildly, a bit of a mixed bag. Russia has used the system extensively to protect its own forces, particularly in places like Syria and, more recently, Ukraine. There, it has certainly claimed successes, shooting down aircraft and missiles. For a while, it seemed to be living up to the hype, creating no-fly zones that were genuinely dangerous for opponents to enter. But as conflicts have dragged on, some serious chinks have started to appear in its armor. In Ukraine, the S-400 has faced a relentless and clever adversary. Ukrainian forces, using a combination of drones, intelligence, and long-range missiles, have started to specifically target the S-400 systems themselves. In a particularly notable strike in Crimea in June 2025, they managed to destroy the crucial radar components of an S-400 battery. They took out its eyes, which rendered the missile launchers completely useless. It was a classic case of David targeting Goliath's weak spot. This showed that even the most advanced defense system is vulnerable if you can figure out how to attack its essential parts. It's not just in Ukraine where the S-400 has struggled. India deployed its newly acquired S-400 batteries along its border, hoping to gain a decisive edge. However, during a flare-up with Pakistan, the system's performance was reportedly underwhelming. According to some analyses, Pakistani jets were able to operate within the S-400's supposed engagement range by using electronic jamming and clever tactics. Even more embarrassingly, Pakistani missiles allegedly managed to strike the S-400's radar installations. This incident raised serious questions about whether the system could handle a sophisticated, multi-pronged attack from a well-prepared enemy. The lesson from these real-world tests seems to be that no weapon is a magic bullet. The S-400 is clearly a capable and dangerous system, but it's not invincible. Its effectiveness depends heavily on the crew operating it, the tactics used against it, and its integration with other defense systems. When faced with saturation attacks, where an enemy throws more threats at it than it can handle at once, or direct strikes on its vulnerable radar trucks, the S-400 has proven that it can be beaten. The paper tiger might have real claws, but it also has a soft underbelly. So, what are the S-400's biggest weaknesses? The number one problem, as seen in Ukraine and with India, is its reliance on its radars. The whole system is built around these powerful but large and visible components. Destroy the 91N6E surveillance radar and the 92N2E fire control radars, and the launchers, the part that actually shoots the missiles, are just big useless trucks. Adversaries have learned that instead of trying to fly through the S-400's defensive bubble, it's much smarter to send cheap drones or fast missiles to take out the radars first. Once the eyes are gone, the beast is blind and helpless. Another major issue is its mobility, or rather, the lack of it in a real combat situation. Yes, all the parts are on wheels, but moving an entire S-400 battery is not like packing up a tent. It's a massive logistical operation that takes time. You have to shut everything down, secure the delicate equipment, form a convoy, drive to a new spot, and then spend hours setting it all up and calibrating it again. This process creates a window of vulnerability where the system is offline and exposed. Clever enemies can use satellites and spies to watch for these movements and strike when the S-400 is at its weakest. The system also seems to struggle against what military boffins call saturation attacks. The S-400 can track and engage many targets, but there is a limit. If an enemy fires a massive wave of drones, cruise missiles and decoys all at once from different directions and altitudes, the system's computers and human operators can get overwhelmed. They have to decide which threats are real, which are the most dangerous, and which to shoot at first. This confusion can allow some attackers to slip through the net. Modern warfare is increasingly about throwing so much junk at a defense system that it simply can't cope, and the S-400 is not immune to this tactic. In the end, the S-400 is a formidable piece of engineering, but it is not the impenetrable superweapon it was once made out to be. It excels at tracking high-altitude, non-stealthy targets from a very long way away. In a simple, one-on-one fight, it's terrifying. However, it is vulnerable to direct attacks on its radar systems. It is slow to move, and it can be overwhelmed by complex, coordinated assaults that use electronic warfare and swarms of cheap drones. The S-400 is a powerful air defense powerhouse, for sure, but recent events have shown that this powerhouse can be short-circuited. It's a giant with a glass jaw.